All right, guys. You know what else has a lot of issues with it was Daredevil Born Again, and I don't know if you guys were aware, but they released a new trailer. So, like, the story behind Daredevil Born Again is basically they were shooting it, and Marvel didn't like what they were seeing, and so during the actors' strike, they basically erased everything that had been shot and decided to reboot it. Right. So, like, the new trailer for this just came out. It does not have Daredevil in his mustard outfit. None of the kind of what was that Echo stuff is mentioned in this thing. But essentially, we have this new trailer, which is very, very. How should I say? It should be a red band trailer because there's a lot of gore in this thing.
Oh yeah,
But
like
It's a good trailer.
compound fracture stuff.
yeah, like you see bones breaking out of skin.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I when I first started watching this trailer, I was like, not really interested in Marvel anymore because like they fuck stuff up. But at the end of the trailer, I was like, damn, it's good. And Nerdrotic, Odin's best friend. Actually, a lot of people accuse him of just like hating on everything, but he came out and he's like, wow, this was actually a good trailer as opposed to Echo.
Yeah, it's good.
So I want to go around and get everyone's reaction to this trailer. We'll start with you, Odin. How are you and your Friday Night Tights buddies liking the new Daredevil Born Again trailer?
Overall, last night we were very, cautiously optimistic about it. It definitely seems to have a throwback feel to the original Netflix series, especially to season 1 of the Netflix series, which in my opinion is some of the best superhero television that we've really ever gotten. It was so dark. It was so down to earth. It was also so well shot. I mean, we still to this day talk about the hallway sequence where it's a fight sequence that occurs where it's just one shot and the camera's either slowly fading in or fading out. And basically they're going in and out of rooms. And so all you see are them getting hit into the hallway or hit out of the hallway. And it's just very well done, very well shot, very well choreographed as well. So that's what this kind of feels like. However, we always have to say, giant grain of salt, have to be very, cautious with anything that comes from modern day Disney, modern day MCU, anything related to them in whatever capacity. So right now it looks like it might be pretty good, but I will hold my judgment until the show actually comes out and until the entirety of the show is been released, because we also know they can sometimes make it so that the beginning's okay and then it just falls off the rails. So we'll wait and see.
Well, Reaper, what's your take on this? Do you think Marvel Television might have turned a corner with this rejiggering of Daredevil?
Even someone like me, who's 99% hateful about everything, felt a slight flicker of optimism when watching it. But I don't know if that's actually the case, if it's just a one-off or it's just going to be this going forwards, because you got to think we had Echo, She-Hulk, fucking the Marvel, just the worst shows possible. So I don't even know. I think it's because they're so desperate for money. They might pull this one right out of their asses, but I have no idea going forward. It looks good, but we'll see.
Well, Brian, this is the first kind of post-Hollywood strike Marvel project that's coming out. We have Captain America, Brave New World. Reaper mentioned She-Hulk and Echo, and basically all these projects that were done like before Trump won, essentially. And I think that there's this shift going on in Marvel right now where they're realizing that they screwed up and they're trying to course correct. And this might be the first inclination of that. What's your take on it?
You're referring to BT before Trump.
Yeah, before Trump.
Now that we're in the AT part of the lore, I don't know. The trailer looks really good. I've been fooled by trailers before. I mean, it looks good. I wasn't like a massive fan of the original Daredevil. I thought it was the best of the Netflix shows for sure. I like the character a lot. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not holding my breath. Like, I gotta be honest with you, I was sort of looking forward to She-Hulk, and then I watched the first episode and I was like, no, I'm good. So
from the trailer, you thought that was good?
Dude, I look forward to a lot of shit. Dude. Okay? Here's the deal. I watch everything. So I have this weird optimistic thing where I'm like, maybe it'll be good because I'm going to watch it no matter what.
No, it should be the opposite. I watch everything and I just get more pessimistic each time.
No, but I can't, bro. I can't. It's my job. I have to watch everything. So I gotta hope beyond hope that it might be something that entertains me or inspires me in some way.
But don't you
instead of just
crash
pissing
out
me off.
more? You go, this is going to be good. No, it isn't. This is going to be good. No, it isn't. You just have the high and low every week.
Well, I think I also have lower standards than you, Reaper. I'll be
Yes.
real. Like, I liked The Flash. I thought it
Yes,
was a fun
exactly.
movie. I didn't think it was a masterpiece, but
Oh,
I had a
it
good
wasn't a
time.
masterpiece.
No.
It was not a masterpiece.
Of course not. It wasn't a masterpiece,
But
but I had a
Brian
good
enjoyed
time.
it.
I
Mhm.
saw the problems with it, and I was able to be like,
Was you
whatever.
drunk?
No, man. I
Huh?
wasn't.
This is
Look,
this
I'm
is
just
insight into
more
who Brian
optimistic.
is.
I
Yeah.
have a lower bar than you. Look, I can criticize something.
Your bar
the
is
end.
subterranean.
No, I can criticize something to the end, but my plan is to get some kind of entertainment value out of something. What pisses me off more than Flash, with all of its flaws, is really being into going to watch a Batman movie that everyone, including people on this panel, told me was amazing. And then when I get there, I can barely see shit and I'm bored for 3 hours. That pisses me off a lot more than a bunch of explosions and bad CGI.
That's expectations, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, what do you think about Muse being the main kind of like antagonist in terms of like, you know, Daredevil in this season?
I'm forgetting the name of the guy who plays Kingpin. Something D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah. So first off, I love that actor. I've loved him since he's in like SVU, I think, right?
He's a major Trump derangement syndrome guy too, though.
No, I know he's mental problems. But as far as his acting is concerned, he's a great actor. Like I can put his crazy worldview aside and enjoy his craft. So I think he's very good at acting. As far as the villain goes, I'm not sold that the villain isn't Kingpin, because the villain is always Kingpin.
Well, I mean, like there's, you know, Kingpin's the major villain, but the guy that Daredevil is going to be going head to head against, as opposed to like what's his name, Bullseye, is Muse this coming season. So
Sure, okay, whatever.
well,
I mean,
are you familiar with the character?
I've seen him in comic books. I don't know what his power set is.
So he's basically a serial killer who basically uses murder as like his artistic expression. And he's got some type of like ability where Daredevil can't detect him with his enhanced senses. So
That's interesting, I guess. I don't know why you have to give a handicap to a superhero that's literally handicapped, but whatever, I guess.
well,
The way it was
superpower.
described, yeah, I mean, I looked it up, and part of me wondered immediately, like, wait a minute, if his power is that he can basically deprive, like, almost like be like a black hole of sensory information, wouldn't that make him more obvious to someone whose only power is sensory information? Because he's the absent void.
Don't think about it, Odin.
I'm just saying, doesn't make any sense.
It's not a
Don't
void.
think about it.
It's not a void. It's that he's undetectable. So like you know, when Daredevil's using his sonar vision, essentially, it's like he's like one of those guys that you know, the stealth bomber. It's just like he doesn't get picked up on. Right?
He has like a special suit or
Remember
something.
that time Penguin played the Bullseye?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was crazy.
that movie
So
was
you're
rough.
saying he has a cloak of invisibility? Is that what I'm hearing?
He must have some kind of sound dampening cloak.
Dude, if Ben Affleck had showed up as Daredevil in Wolverine and Deadpool, that
Oh,
would
yeah.
have been
That
That would have
been
lost
so
my
That would
shit.
have been epic. That would've been epic.
epic.
I don't give a
So-
fuck what anybody says. The director's cut of that movie rocks.
I
Just
mean,
take out that stupid scene in the stupid playground and the movie be fine.
I gotta watch that movie. I didn't know there was a director's cut. That's pretty awesome. I'll check it
Yeah,
out.
it's better than the other version. Yeah.
That's not saying much.
Couldn't be
though.
worse.
I think Michael.
Hey, shut up.
Clark
It's
Duncan-
good.
Hey, at least
Michael
it's an
Clark
actual
Duncan
director's
was
cut.
miscast. Yeah. But Alex, you know, the cool thing about Daredevil Born Again is that it actually looks like a sequel to the Netflix.
Did he just say Michael Clark Duncan was miscast as Kingpin?
I thought so. Yeah.
That's
Well, he looks
not.
nothing like him.
No. No, sir.
No. That was good casting.
No.
No, he's not the Kingpin.
That was
I
good
agree
casting.
with
That was
Reaper.
really good casting.
Acting,
What?
he fit the part perfectly.
Well, he's not. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a great actor.
He
But
sounds
good
slow mentally. I mean, forget the size. Forget he doesn't look like him. He literally he talks like he's had a stroke.
That
Yeah, he-
man is dead. He can't defend
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah, bro.
How
Exactly.
dare you?
This is
Wasted my
extreme poor
opportunity.
taste.
He's coffee. You be quiet.
Too soon.
Look, I like Michael Clark Duncan.
He's
but
second Jesus.
I don't think he was a good casting as Kingpin.
I thought he was just fine, sir. You just
Yeah, I disagree. I think he was good.
bite your tongue.
Anyway,
I didn't even like
Alex,
the movie, but I, thought it was
I
good
think
casting.
he's just
Yeah.
racist.
What's up, dude?
Yeah,
you caught me, Odin. Old white guy.
Yes.
Old white guy.
Super racist.
just more reason
Your
to
white
agree with
privilege is showing.
Yes.
What a
Alex-
racist.
So,
Yeah.
so this looks more like a sequel to the Netflix shows than what we were originally going to get initially, and they're bringing back all the same actors from the show, like Foggy and what's her name, Karen, are coming back. Vincent D'Onofrio.
Well, they paid for the rights from the Netflix version, so you might as well use it, right? Like it makes no
Exactly.
sense. Because they actually
Yeah.
shot a bunch of the show as a sequel to the She-Hulk version, and it wasn't working. So they made him go back to square one and start over again. So
But
and it really does
also-
appear that this is a different alternate universe or something or other. But yeah,
Well,
how much
also,
of the She-Hulk show is in this?
what's that?
How much of the former She-Hulk spin-off was in this?
None of it.
Completely gone.
acknowledge it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're treating it as a direct sequel to the third season of Netflix's Daredevil. It's going to happen a few years later. They're probably not going to talk about.
The Defenders.
Yeah, they're probably not going to talk about the
Well,
direct stuff that happened in there, but like basically all the stuff that happened in the previous seasons will happen here. We have the guy who played Bullseye coming back, but also Salty. We have the Punisher returning.
Yeah, John Bernthal.
Yeah. So what's your
Isn't there
take
a guy in the
on this?
Defenders that can punch people really hard or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, the Iron Fist.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
shitty power, dude.
I don't know, man. Talk to Mike Tyson about it. See if he thinks it's a shitty power.
Power though.
Yeah, it looks good. Look, the trailer looks great. I'm cautiously optimistic, but actually, who was it? Somebody, maybe it was Brian, mentioned something about Vincent D'Onofrio being freaking TDS hardcore. Once he said that, I kind of put a couple pieces together. In this trailer, they say that Kingpin is basically running for like mayor of New York or whatever, and so it's going to have some kind of a political angle to it. And if they are not careful, they could real easily paint like, oh look, it's a allegory for Trump. He's running for office, and he's going to be like, oh, I got to put New York first, and this.
All of a sudden, Kingpin's wearing a toupee.
Alex,
yeah.
Kingpin running for mayor of New York was actually a major storyline in the comic book.
I know. I'm not saying it doesn't like fit the character or whatever, or if it's not comic book accurate. I'm saying if they're not careful, or if they did it on purpose and they made it, they force it to be an allegory for Trump by using a lot of the same political buzzwords, it could be a real quick turn
Listen,
off.
Matt Murdock, I don't
Yeah.
want you messing in my affairs any longer.
Look, make New York great again. I mean, all they have to do is slip one of those stupid freaking phrases in this
That's
movie, and it's gonna freaking completely take everybody out of the show. So, I mean, just I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they fall for that trick or not.
Yeah, what's really kind of interesting is that they seem to be going back and using the comic books as more source material for the stories. But I like how they opened up the trailer with basically the heat scene where it's like De Niro and Pacino sitting down in a coffee shop talking to each other, and now we have like Daredevil and Matt Murdock. And if you guys watch season 3 of the Netflix show, you know that basically Kingpin knows that Matt Murdock's Daredevil, and it seems like he's been out of the vigilante business for a while. But stuff's going to happen, and I'm wondering like how this is going to impact future show, like if they're going to use this as like a foray into, you know, kind of creating like more of a TV universe, kind of like how Netflix had. What's your take on that, Tom? Tom, put the cereal spoon down and answer my question.
Put the cereal down.
Put the cereal down, Tom.
Okay,
Well,
well,
Tom's
Tom's
there, bro.
yeah,
Like
Tom's
he checked
basically
out.
Yeah. He's like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. I don't even know why I show up on Saturdays. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I for one am looking forward to Daredevil Born Again. Looks like a pretty badass.
I was sitting here for like 45 minutes. You didn't ask me shit. I step away for 5. Then you do.
So just put BRB in the chat, Tom.
I should, but you know what? Any other time I can walk away, don't say a word. I could just do my thing and you don't say a word.
Well, Tom, do you have an answer to my question?
which was like, how's this going to affect the MCU going forward, or what was it?
How's it going to affect the TV shows that Disney's putting out for the MCU?
Well, if it's more successful, I think that they'll notice that, and they'll probably kind of reassess how they're handling the TV thing. At least I would hope so, because I mean, it makes more sense for these shows to be in a world where they don't affect the movies, but they can be affected by the movies, right? Because that's the biggest problem going into this next year of films is if you haven't seen that Captain Falcon show, then you have no idea what the hell's happening in Captain America 4, nor would you care, right? And the same thing with like, some of their other things like Doctor Strange. Like that was the problem with that. It was a sequel to WandaVision instead of Doctor Strange or Spider-Man No Way Home. They need to be able to find a way to make these shows work the way they did when they were on Netflix originally, where they didn't rely on the MCU and vice versa, right? Where they were in their own little universe and they could do their own little things. Sure, they could acknowledge little wink winks, nudge
Agents of
here
Shield,
and there. Yeah.
Agents of Shield did it perfectly. They acknowledged it every once in a while, but it wasn't important to the story.
Do I think it's going to change though? I doubt it, even though this is an oddball because it's actually getting 18 episodes, which is strange. Wow. I mean, it's almost like a full season run, but like, yeah,
that's actually pretty rare.
It could be a new model because basically, didn't Marvel announce that they're only doing like 1 or 2 series per year now instead of like
could be
bunch of stuff, so like they want to drag it out.
And it would make sense to get like a bunch of characters like this that are a bit more street level and do those as TV shows. Because at the end of the day, most comic books work better as like serial TV shows anyway. Let's be real. I mean, and they can't keep spending the kind of money they are on these movies, but I mean, comic book stories can do great on television for the next few decades, no problem, as long as you're not spending too much money on them. And Daredevil's 100%. A great example of one that you don't have to spend a bunch of money on.